All right, so a great question I got asked yesterday was, we're talking to all these buyers that are getting ready to purchase next year, and what are maybe 5 things that we need to do to get ready? I was like, that's a great question. Let's just answer that for everybody. So today we're talking about 5 things that you as a buyer need to know, either prepare or get used to. First thing, let's talk about credit. So we did the Facebook Monday Mortgage Minute about credit yesterday and scores. And one thing about your credit that we got to remember, it's not just your score, but it's the depth of credit history, how things report, right? Not just, I have a good score, but I have one item open. Well, that's maybe not enough. So if you're looking at purchasing a new home, you probably want to have at least 4 trade lines. I say probably because what I'm going to tell you is the most conservative. And if we do that, we're going to meet every guideline versus FHA, which might have some alternative trade lines, right? So I want you to prepare for the most robust options possible. So you should have 4 trade lines. Now, what is a trade line? A trade line is an item reporting of credit debt. So your car, your student loan, maybe you have an Amazon credit card, maybe you have a what's in your wallet venture card, right? That would be 4 different trade lines, right? So 4 different credit items reporting. If you don't have 4, start a new one. Right? We want to have these building for at least 2 years if possible. If you're buying with a partner, maybe you jump on their credit card to get that history. So the first things first is having 4 trade lines for you that's going to be reporting. That's going to give you that robust credit history. The next thing is how much you should have. Now we talk about our down payment, but there's also closing costs. Now down payments are percentages, 3, 5, 10, 15, right? But for closing costs, my example is that you should have around 2% of your sales price ready to go for closing costs. It should be less, but I'd rather tell you more because different programs are going to require that you say, pay your taxes and insurance, and maybe you have to pre-fund that account. Now that would be a cost that you wouldn't know about. So rule of thumb, if you have 2% of your sales price ready to go, you'll definitely have enough money for your closing costs. The next thing to keep in mind is that every $100,000 in real estate costs around $600 a month. So if you're talking about how much can I afford and what does my rent really buy me and how do I need to save? Well, $100,000 costs around $600 a month. That number will change as rates increase, but for today, that's a great number, right? So if we're saying, gosh, I need to save for that next level of down payment from the 5% to the 10%, well, $100,000 that it's going to cost you $600 a month, how long is it going to take you to save there? So $100,000 in real estate equals about $600 a month in your monthly debt flow. The next thing to keep in mind, and I think this is one of the most important things, is pretend like you're making your mortgage payments today. So when you make your mortgage payment, your mortgage is due on the 1st of the month, it's late on the 15th of the month. Property taxes, unless you pay them monthly, are due twice a year. You still qualify as if you paid them monthly. You still need to save for them. Insurance, just like your car, you pay it for once a year or twice a year. However you do that, be the same for the mortgage. So your mortgage, tax, and insurance, whatever that number is going to be. Now we know $100,000, $600 a month, right? So pretend like that money is due on the 1st. How do you need to change your spending? Do you need to put some money in a bank account? Can you save the difference if your rent's $2,000 and say your mortgage is $3,000? Can you just put that $1,000 a month aside? Get used to that because that's going to tell you how to live. So if we're talking about that you're getting ready to buy either this year, next year, or in the future, those are the 5 tips that I have for you. Certainly, number 1, make sure we're building our credit, not just the score of depth of history. Try and get 4 trade lines. Number 2, make sure that you have 2% of that sales price ready to go for closing costs. Number 3, every $100,000 is $600 a month. Number 4, of course, pretend like you're making that payment. And the 5th one, make sure you've got a plan. Let me or another professional help you get that. You have to know the plan. Things change all the time. And if we know where you want to go, we can help you get there. It's Us Not Homeowners Financial. Let me know any questions I can help with you and make it a great day. Bye.